The VC-10 got me here in less than 12 hours. I found Salisbury Airport well up to the usual international standards, and I've seen quite a few in the last 5 years. Salisbury is the capital, as you know, but you'd be surprised to see what a fine modern city it is. There are about 250,000 people in Salisbury, 80,000 of them Europeans. All the usual social services seem to be well developed, schooling from primary right through to university. In Salisbury, they are particularly proud of their tobacco auction floors, which are evidently the largest in the world, and sell their largest single asset, about £35 million worth of tobacco. There are 5 factories here manufacturing cigarettes and pipe tobacco. So far, they're only dealing with about 3% of the crop, but I make that about £1 million worth. There's a well-developed industrial area with a good variety of products, most of them concerned with local needs, but all looking for some export trade too. In the last 3 or 4 years, the demand for cars has brought 3 assembly plants, and 2 of them are in Salisbury. These support quite a few other factories making parts and accessories. Where Salisbury is unlike other African cities I've visited is that it isn't surrounded by undeveloped bush. There is plenty of bush, but there are also many flourishing European farms, dairy, beef, pigs, and especially tobacco and maize. And not far away, the tribal lands start. The pattern seems to be that the tribal lands produce enough for their own support, and the European farmers supply the towns and export. Cotton is doing well here now, and they look forward to growing all they need within a couple of years. They're already able to manufacture it in their spinning and weaving mills, though they still import patterned materials. But here again, they're ambitious to meet all their own needs. The first leg of my tour took me 160 miles east to Umtali, in the eastern districts. Umtali is near the Mozambique border. It's smaller than Salisbury, but it's got a pleasant character of its own. Quite a well-developed town, once again with all the usual social amenities, and there's a new teacher training college to cope with the great number of teachers they need, and a fine theatre and civic centre. Well, this area is where most Rhodesians spend their holidays. It's high country, in fact mountainous, and cool during the summer. There are wonderful views, and the hotel trade has made the best of it. The mountains are full of streams, and they say the streams are full of trout. One of these days, perhaps I shall get enough time on a tour to try the local pastimes myself. It isn't all just scenery for looking at, though. There are some huge timber estates here. They're also developing industries to process the timber. For instance, there's a pulp and paper mill producing newsprint. Evidently, this area has the right climate and soil for growing coffee and tea successfully. The locals say that they're supplying most of the home market with tea now and doing some exporting. And they're pleased that a new £100,000 project for growing coffee has been started after a few years of successful tests. I discovered that Umtali is the centre of a vegetable and fruit growing area, and that much of the produce is processed and canned here. You remember me mentioning 2 of the 3 motor assembly plants being in Salisbury? Well, the third is here.